Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish, Tuesday, January 26, 2021. The time is now 6 p.m. I call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, we'll review the minutes from the December 29th, 2020 meeting. Any board discussion? Seeing none, do we have a motion? They're in the original packet. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Chair, pass a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, we have a motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second? All in favor? Aye. That motion carries. All right, now we'll review low rent and HCVP financials. Start with low rent. Is there any discussion?
What page? Oh.
It's an updated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have an updated one for the December
For December.
financials.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass a motion
To accept them.
to accept them in the record.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Bailey to accept them in the record. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. All right, now VMS report.
Walking here on the VMS report?
Yeah, are you going over VMS or is Ms. Hayes or?
I can go with VMS.
All right,
Well, actually, we're gonna let Ms. Hayes. I need to catch my breath.
all right, Ms. Hayes, you want to give us an overview of VMS?
Let me say this. I've been reviewing the process, and basically what we're doing is the same thing twice. The VMS report captures what's happening with the VHC program, but when she does the VHC program, she's literally giving us the same information. So, with that being said, I think we should wait to deal with the numbers. Most of the information that's in the package, I'm just doing a little quick summary. Most of the information in the package is so that you guys can have it, study it before the meeting. When we go through the administrative report, that information goes, we review it again.
That's correct. And so we have a published agenda
So,
and
at this time, but I want to change it, is what I was saying.
well, there's several things that need to be probably changed on the agenda, but anyway, we're at the point in the meeting, unless there's a point of order where we're gonna change the agenda, let's review the VMS report. So, Ms. Hayes.
In the VMS report, with our housing choice voucher, we're showing that we're currently have, hold on one moment. Wait.
I'll help her out.
Okay.
We currently have 269 vouchers that are active. We have, and we have a total of 3 vouchers that's issued with a contract, but they are searching. We have 5 port-ins. And that is it.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll get an update on agency from the executive director.
Okay. So I want to start. I missed the financials. Huh?
Yep.
I want to start with the state of the agency. I have not met with you guys since
October.
Since October. Currently, we have in the ELOC system a total of $400,000 that we're carrying over from 2020. That doesn't include the allocation we're going to get for 2021. Excuse me. Also, we're carrying over from our operation a total of $41,000 from 2020. We have gotten our first allocation for 2021 of $78,000. Our agency was determined to have a shortfall. A shortfall is based on deficits. So from last year's deficit, based on our negative UNP numbers, it was determined that we had a deficit of $92,000. So the Department of Housing and Urban Development has issued us another $92,000 to go into our budget. Y'all have to excuse the way I'm talking. Y'all have a breathing problem. I've been sick for a while. And I'm kind of short of breath. The next thing I want to talk about is our MENAR. The MENAR, as of today, is at 1.92, which means we're on a consistent increase. The other issue that we have been dealing with is the UNP. Our UNP, which was initially $189,000 in a deficit, to date is at $24,000 in the deficit. However, the Department of Housing and Urban Development gave us CARE money. The CARE money for our HCB program, we've never used it. So there's new legislation that's now going to allow us to use that money to zero our debts on both the DF and also bring us into a positive state for UNP. The other issue is a situation that I've been dealing with the Department of Housing and Urban Development pertaining to the submission of our streamlined voluntary conversion application. Brenda, can you give me some water?
Yeah, that's what Charles said.
Okay, thank you. So as a result of the PHA plan that was submitted, and the 45-day review was not the correct PHA plan. There's acronyms to everything, and the PHA plan is a PHA plan, but there's a PHA plan and PHA plan 5-year plan. So with that being said, we have to republish and we have to revise the PHA 5-year annual plan.
Right, we do that every year. It's a 5-year plan and it's revised every year.
And it's revised every year. But this is the first time we have to do a 45-day review, and that is because we're doing the streamlined voluntary conversion, and that is a requirement.
Okay.
So it has been revised. You guys should have a copy of it in your packet. In addition to that, there's 3 certifications. One that's signed by me, saying that it's an anti-lobbying form. There's one that's signed by the chairman, which is the civil rights form, and then there's a compliance form that says that we comply with the parish's consolidated plan, and that's signed by the parish president. I gave you guys copies of it. Another problem we had with the PHA plan is that we have not had a resident advisory board with the agency ever. It is a major requirement, so we have incorporated, working with the tenants, a resident advisory board to meet that compliance as well. And that should be in the packet.
Yeah, I did see the articles of organization for that.
And the president is the same person that we recommend for our resident Commissioner.
Right, I saw that as well, so thank you for getting that to us.
The other issues is resolutions. And these are, some of them are standard resolutions that we have to do every year. One of the resolutions is to adopt our updated utility allowance.
Can you, I know we're gonna have some discussion when we get to the resolutions, but can you, we're just receiving that resolution this evening. The board has not had a time to review it, so can you, let us, I realize the other two are pretty standard. We do those on an annual basis.
Which one you're referring to?
But resolution 12621 for the new utility allowance,
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's standard.
That's standard. We do that every year.
okay,
The only one that's here that's not standard would be the, actually the only one.
What's the footnotes?
The second resolution is the resolution to approve the payment standard.
that's normal.
Right.
Okay,
And the third resolution,
The authorization to advertise.
for the 5-year
For the
plan.
5-year plan.
Okay, so have we not used the Nelrod company for the study in the past on the,
every year,
okay. All right,
every year. So with that being said, I should have let you go first. I'm better now catching my breath. So Brandy, can you go with the low rent in the HCP program?
I believe we covered the same information at the last board meeting in regards to low rent. We haven't had any new units become vacant, and all our units that are vacant, which is a total of 55, are currently listed under modernization. No repairs are being done to those units at this time, just because we have the streamlined conversion plan where all those units are going to undergo major renovation.
Or demolition?
Yes, or demolition. In the month of December, we collected $19,354.25. As I stated, we had no new move-ins or move-outs. Any questions in regards to low rent?
any questions from the board? All right,
All right. In regards to Section 8, as Ms. Hollis stated before, we currently have 3 housing choice voucher participants that are searching. We have 2 port outs that are currently leased up, and we have a total of 4 port ins.
great.
I want to also share with the copy of the UNP and the MENOR that's in there. What I've been working with the fee accountant to do is to simplify the process of reading the financial. You will always get current. Is my mic on? We will always give you the current financials, but one of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes we struggle trying to read them because we're not accountants. So what she's done is she's simplified the process and put a summary that's going to come with the MENOR for the low rent program. Well, with the HPC program, there's nothing that we could do about that.
Okay,
The final thing I want to talk about, first of all, is welcome, Ms. Jackson. I heard you came by the office.
Yeah, I did.
That's good. I like to have pop-up visits, but I'm not there very often. I'm working remote at this time. But if you want to meet me there, I will. But one of the things that I want to do, we are turning the curve. We are moving into a different direction. We are literally at the last stage. I have a copy that you guys can review before we leave. This is our application. It is completed. This is our streamlined application. We can't submit it until we finish the 5-year plan. But it's going to change a lot of our operations. And what we've learned as a group, it's not going to affect you, Ms. Jackson, because you're new. So you get to benefit from this as well. But what we've learned as a group is that doing online trainings and going to the conferences did not teach us as much as we learned when we did that one retreat.
I would vouch for that. That's,
Right.
yeah.
It made a difference. It made a huge difference, and it taught you guys how to govern me. Because I could tell you anything. But I need to be governed. That is the proper order. But with the change, our operation is going to change. So what I suggest is that we plan another retreat, bring the professionals to us, and train us as a group. And the professionals that came the last time, they didn't charge us anything. There was no fee associated with that. So I just wanted to suggest that and wait for you guys to give me feedback.
I think the last time when y'all did that, y'all training get together, I wasn't able to make that.
Right.
I was going out of town, but hopefully I'll be able to make it.
Well, y'all get together and give me some dates.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be a sleepover. I think it's better. I think it's better that we're not coming and going. Sometimes you get stuck in traffic, and we can create it and tailor it to the way that we want to. Our development partners, we have some of the best. We have Coach and Rose from out of Fort Worth, Dallas. We have Wayne Nephew, and we have Standard. And I think that we should have all three of them to come in and provide training for us.
All right. Any further board discussion?
And we're throwing some low-income housing tax credit training, right? Or-
Yeah, well, that's all part of our
Yeah,
project. Our project, we've gotten a commitment from a lender. We have a lender. The name of the lender is Highland Commercial Mortgage Company out of Alabama. They do HUD and tax credit, commercial loans throughout the United States. They're committed. We have been the holdup on that process because the 5-year plan being approved has prohibited me from spending CFP money on pre-development costs. So that kind of slowed us down. But our development partner on last week, we did an agreement. They're going to pay for it so that we can move forward, and we'll reimburse them when we finish this process.
Makes sense.
And the second part is the low income tax credit. The mortgage lender is simply interim. It's interim money until we convert to the tax credits.
Right. But there's gonna be a lot of compliance that we gotta.
Well, we don't have to do it. Our partners have to do it, but we should understand it
Yeah.
so that we can make sure our interest is always being taken care of.
Right.
So whatever you want in there, that's what we'll have them to do.
Right. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Mr. Taylor, you want to give us an update on maintenance?
We have finally, tentative date. Loud enough. We have a tentative date for our fire and safety, just waiting on the delivery of the 75 smoke detectors from Home Depot, but we should take care of that on February 4th. Of next month on the 4th, we'll have that taken care of. Me and Ms. Hayes has got together. We getting together on a letter to inform the tenants that just because it says flushable doesn't mean it is flushable. Only thing dissolved in water is tissue paper. I don't care what it says on the pack. It is not flushable. It does not dissolve, and it clogs up the line. And we've been having a big problem with that lately because everybody now is buying.
The wet wipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just because they say flushable, they think it's okay to flush them down the toilet. It does not dissolve.
Plumbing and sewage is our biggest cost.
So,
Do we have any issues with grease? Is that another one or?
We
No,
don't,
the
we don't
grease-
have that problem anymore.
No.
That was a Hornville issue. Hornville is fine now.
Right.
That's, yeah.
I'm saying now it's just the flushable.
do we have a policy in place for these flushable wipes or?
We do not. That's a very good idea. We
I don't know how it would be enforced, like how you'd even find out about it.
I do. That is a good question.
No, it's the unit. You literally have to go inside the unit.
So how
Even
do
though
we?
the stop up may be outside, but you know exactly what unit it came from.
Well, I mean, they're not hiding them. It's on the back of the toilet, and they'll have
So,
argument with you, I mean, well, a discussion with you, you know, the pack says flushable. Ma'am,
Can we,
it's on the cable machine.
can we recommend as a board that we implement a policy,
We'll-
prohibit the use,
We'll write a policy, we'll have that the next board meeting for you guys to, ratify a resolution on. I think it's a great idea, I don't know why I didn't think of it,
alright.
cause Charles, Lord, it really frustrates him. Charles and, since I've been working remote, I have watched Charles and Brandy grow tremendously, I'm so proud of y'all. You know, and I wanted to say that in front of the commissioners, because we never we don't miss a beat. No step. We've been quarantined. We've had several COVID scares, and even though I'm not at the office, even though I think my pneumonia was COVID, even though I'm not at the office, I'm still exposed because they're coming and going every day. You know, signing papers, they bringing checks, whatever. But it's been a rocky road, but they have grown tremendously, and I'm just proud of you guys.
Thank y'all for all your hard work. I
Thank
know
you.
this last year has been, difficult and different for everyone. So, thank you for rising to the occasion. That's it? Okay. All right, the next agenda item is for resolution number 01012621. It is a resolution authorizing the approval of the new utility allowances resulting from the 2020 Nelrod Company study for the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish. Do we have any board discussion?
So this is,
Attached to the resolution, you should have a copy of the schedule. And if you have any questions what the utility allowance schedule is about.
You say a utility allowance, but it's saying a study, it's not a study?
Well, it's not a study. Well,
Well-
it's derived from a study.
Basically, Nelrod Company did a study, they submitted our report, and then the resolution tonight would be to implement the recommendations of that,
of the
based
study.
on that study.
And so they're saying
You
that
guys
there's
have
gonna be,
copies of it?
We received
Yeah,
it
we
this
received a copy.
evening.
Okay.
but is a 10% increase in, let's see,
For our HCV program, we literally write a check to every recipient of the voucher.
Mhm.
And one of our compliance and audit issues is that when we write the check, the amount that we're writing it for has to be in compliance and current.
right.
In some areas, there was an increase, and in some areas, there were none at all. It fluctuates. And we only do gas. No, we don't do gas. We only do electricity
For public housing,
for public housing.
you pay all utilities except for electricity.
And with the HVC program, it's just a formulated process.
So, any discussion? Do we have a motion?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass a motion to approve resolution 01012621. A resolution authorizing the approval of the new utility allowance resulting from the 2020 Nelrod Company study for the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Yeah, second.
All right, we have a second by Ms. Jackson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. All right, resolution number 02012621, resolution requesting approval of the payment standards for Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish Housing Choice Voucher Program.
All right, so,
Fair market value,
right, who actually does the fair market value? Is that
Department of Housing.
Department of Housing, so they make this, so
Code
they
does
come
it.
down and, yeah,
And they publish it on their
on
website.
the website.
What we're doing, the change in this, is that we were paying 100%. We can go up to 110. Based on the increase, it is a good policy for this agency to keep our landlords involved in the process,
Right.
so that we can be competitive.
Now, and it's just a question just so for my knowledge. Now we have payment standard. The payment standard, does that include a utility allowance to the tenants?
Yes,
Right.
it does.
So when landlords see this, do they understand that they may get like a little bit less, or
They're not gonna get,
they're not
it's
going
not,
to get?
it's not going to affect any contract that's currently in place.
Right.
What happens for the landlord is when it's time to renew, they can get an increase.
They get an increase.
Because our payments are going up.
Right, right. But the reason I ask is because I deal with Handle, and they have two. They have a payment standard and they have an estimated maximum rent to owner. So when a tenant is, chopping around or looking for a property, the landlord looks at the estimated maximum rent to owner because that's the actual amount that they will more than likely receive.
He's negotiating.
Huh?
He's negotiating. The landlord is negotiating.
No, it just on theirs they have a payment standard, and the payment standard includes the utility allowance for the tenant, but it doesn't. It's not
So
what
the tenant
it's not what
receives
the
one
actual,
number.
right?
That's the payment standard amount, and that's what the tenant knows is encompassing of rent and utilities. The landlord gets another number that is just the anticipated amount that they would get for their unit.
Right.
That is correct, because the landlord amount should never fluctuate. What fluctuates is the contribution between our agency and what the tenant pays, based on their family size and income.
Right.
So if their income decrease, then our contribution increases. If their income increases, then our contribution decreases. But it doesn't affect the landlord.
Right, right. No, I see. I get that. I get that. I just want to see how we do it out here because I know out there we go by the estimated maximum rent to owner is what my owner would receive. So I want to know like if that's what the people out here or the landlords out here seeing the same thing.
That's what's happening now. That's how we were able to increase our landlord participation.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's what we want. Okay.
Any further discussion?
I got a question.
Sure. You wanna turn your mic on?
Is it for all of St. Charles Parish?
Or, because before it was broken down, St. Rose got a different price, Destrehan got a different price.
That is true too because they have.
It is impact by zip code.
That's about to ask you that because
It's
But it is by, so this is not correct then?
No, it's very correct. His original question, you're getting more detail in the answer of that question. The payment standard is the payment standard, but the maximum payment per unit would be impact by the zip code. For instance, we couldn't pay $1,500 in AMA because it has to conform to market rent.
So they do a rent.
But it has to be a standard
And they
because
do
it
a
fluctuates so much based on zip code.
Right. And they do a rent. You do a rent reasonable study for the area.
HUD does.
And so right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that landlord would then know what to
Yes.
expect.
Yes,
Yeah.
we counsel with them and we give them the numbers.
So fair market is not the same, Destrehan and St. Rose is two different markets?
Yes,
Every zip code is
Every
different.
every zip code.
Every
It's just
single zip
it's just
code.
like in the real estate industry. Your house,
Now, it can wind up that two zip codes are very similar,
Similar and have the
Correct.
same amount.
but it's based on the studies that HUD does on the
Well,
reasonableness
that's
of
messed
rent.
up too.
See,
We
you
don't
have
have
the
control,
problem.
I mean,
We don't have
this is
control
not
over this.
fair at all.
Well,
but we don't
Well,
have
it's-
control over that. All we
Right,
can do is
right.
increase the,
But that's standard real estate. If I have two homes marketed, it could be the exact same home.
We
Exact
have
same square
homes in
footage.
St. Rose that's valued just as much as
In that
in
zip code,
Destrehan.
in that zip code, in that area,
But
then we
they're
would
not
have
for
to pay.
rent.
Even,
you're basing it off of your rentals that you see in that in those zip codes.
right,
Mm-mm.
it is definitely area driven.
that's how they do it.
It's not just
Yeah.
based, it's not just based on like the value of the homes. It's based on the value
The
that
market.
people are getting for rent
Right.
in the area. So if you have a $400,000 home, but no $400,000 home's ever been rented, it's not gonna increase the rental study. You're only basing it off of the homes that have been rented.
And sometimes you know, it does work out for some landlords because, well, a lot of landlords, but, you know, if an area it would get lower market rent, but then Section 8 is gonna pay, you know, more, or the voucher's gonna pay more, for that area, that landlord is very enticed to take the voucher because he knows he can get a higher dollar amount for a voucher person versus market rate.
And so the flip side of that is that in St. Rose, if they're collecting $4,000 a month in rent because of the property value, what people are willing to pay, they wouldn't participate in our program. So it's not going
Right.
to affect them anyway, because that means they would have to accept less than rent because that exceed even our max.
Right, because you're right. St. Rose is so spread out, and they got certain areas where they're in the same zip code, but they're high price houses. So in that, yeah, they won't participate. Like the Uptown's high paying in New Orleans because of the area, but there's $1 million homes, and those people won't be on the program because Section 8 won't pay what they want for the house.
Any further discussion?
Can you accept it?
No, she still think it's messed up.
Huh?
Still think it's messed up?
It is what it is. I know.
We don't set the
I wanted
policy.
to put my
we
house
just,
up for lease, but when I saw the price, I was like, what? Oh, no.
You don't want to
No,
rent.
I'm not renting my house for that.
It's not to your advantage.
But
But think
then
about it.
you go market rate. You specifically go market rate and don't accept vouchers because it doesn't make sense for you. You know.
You want a market client.
Right.
That's your target
Right,
population.
Mr. Chair, or I would like to pass a motion to approve resolution 02012621. This resolution is requesting approval of the payment standard for the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish Housing Choice Voucher Program.
all right, motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye. That motion carries.
At least we're going in the right direction. It's increasing.
Right.
Yeah, we have more landlords than we have participants now.
Really?
Yeah, that's a 180 for us.
All right, resolution number 03012621, resolution authorizing the advertisement of the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish's revised 5-year PHA plan. Any discussion?
In this plan, we need our parish president to sign, right?
Has to sign the certification for compliance,
Right. Okay.
and Mr. Webb has to sign the Mr. Jake has to sign the certification saying that we comply with the Civil Rights Act.
And I did sign that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just waiting for that one document to move forward.
All right. Any other discussion?
All right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass resolution 03012621. Resolution authorizing the advertisement of the Housing Authority of St. Charles Parish revised 5-year PHA plan.
And do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries.
I could take my mask off. Y'all don't have masks on.
Hmm?
Oh God, I could have
We're-
been breathing
we're
better.
We got shields and mine broke, so I gotta see.
That was a part of my problem trying to catch my breath.
All right.
Let's see.
At this time, we'll open up for public comments. Seeing no one here for public comments. Do we have any motions from the board?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Time is 6:34. We're adjourned.